if I don't sign this piece of paper, they're taking my kids back into foster care system. But if I sign this piece of paper, I'm admitting that I beat on my children, and then I'm going into probation, and then I'm going to prison.
This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. I'm attorney Vince Davis with my co-host Aaron Carranza. Aaron, you ready to take another call?
Yes, let's speak to Samuel from Missouri. Samuel, do you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
I have a little both. I really liked everything that everybody else just said. They're about halfway through what I've already been through. And I want them to listen in and hear what I have to say, that you just have to keep asking the social workers what you need to do next in order to get your kids back. Just over and over and over, every week. Just keep asking them, what do I need to do now to get my kids back? And I went through lawyers and attorneys, and it's pointless. It's a waste of money. I wasted thousands of dollars on attorneys and lawyers, and I even tried to fire my private attorney, and my judge denied me for a whole year until I brought up some paperwork showing his incompetence. And then my judge said, who will be defending you? I said, I'm going to defend myself, Your Honor. He said, okay, then. And that was about 2 months ago. That all you guys got to do is hope for the unsupervised visits. Once you get to the point where you get unsupervised visits, then you start to get your kids back, and slowly but surely. And last Thursday, my kids got dropped off at my house unexpectedly, and they're permanently back with me now. But I just got some paperwork thrown in my face from the social worker wanting me to sign this paperwork. This is my question. They're basically saying that I agree to complete with probation. I've never been on probation at all. And I don't know, they're trying to put me on probation after I've been going to court for 20 months fighting for my kids back. They are forcing me to sign this paperwork saying that I could be incarcerated and put in prison if I sign this paperwork, agreeing to abusing my children when I never did. And I keep telling them in court, you have no charges on me, you have nothing on me, you need to give me back my kids. I've done everything you've asked me to do, now give me back my kids. And they're just told me yesterday that I need to sign this paper or they're going to take my kids back into foster care.
Is there, I don't know what's going on there in Missouri, but here in California, that wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, this doesn't make much sense at all. And I tried to fire my lawyer over a year ago, and the judge finally let me fire my lawyer when I slapped paperwork in front of him saying he's incompetent. Like, I hired him, I could fire him. And the judge said to me a year ago, you're stuck with him until this case is over. I said, Your Honor, I hired him. What do you mean he's stuck with me until this case is over? He set me up to make $280 a month payments to visit my children for 1 hour a week. And if I didn't pay that money to visit my kids 1 hour a week, then I was giving up on my kids and I didn't want my kids anymore, and I was giving my kids to the foster care system, to the CPS. And
do you guys have court-appointed attorneys in Missouri?
they said you have 30 days to fill out this paperwork for a free attorney, a court-appointed attorney. And I filled out the paperwork. I set it up in front of the judge. The judge said, you filled out this paperwork properly, but I'm denying you. And then everybody turned, and the social workers, they're like, what? I said, I have no clue what's going on here. You guys took my kids out of school while I was at work, and you said you didn't have enough time to inspect my home. You're just taking my children into the system. I'm like, 7 days later, they came and inspected my home after they took my kids into the system. It was 1 day later, 8/11/2019. 1 day later, I went to the welfare office immediately, and I said, I want my kids back. What's going on? The juvenile officer stepped over my shoulder and stepped behind me, and she said, you have to sign this paperwork right here. And you have to check this box, sign this paperwork, check this box. And if you don't, you will never see or hear from your kids ever again. So I signed myself into their program on accident. They blackmailed me and told me that I'll never see or hear from my kids again. So, okay, I'm going to sign your papers. And the next thing I know, I'm going through this program to get my kids back out of the foster care system. And I got $3,100 in child support, $800 for this Joe Pilgrim lawyer that set me up with extortion, basically. You're going to force me $280 a month to visit my kids? Like, why are you going to make me pay money to visit my kids when all these other people that I'm standing next to in the same office, they're all saying, we get to visit our kids for free. Why do you have to pay money to visit your kids?
4 minutes.
Oh, because I bought a private lawyer that went in the back room with the social workers and the guardian ad litem and the juvenile officer, and they all talked to each other in a back room for several hours. And then they all came back into the courtroom and decided that I had to pay all this money to visit my kids. And if I choose not to pay this money to visit my kids, then I'm giving my children up. And this paperwork right here, I just want to read off these couple of things. It says, agree to complete probation to remedy his current legal issue and reduce the risk of incarceration. And let's skip it through.
3 minutes.
Hey, Samuel.
Will demonstrate the ability to practice non-aggressive or threatening conflict resolution. And then it says, it wants me to initial and sign. I have been notified of the understanding my rights with regard to the service provided to me by the Children's Division.
Hey, Samuel, hold on a second.
I'm going to sue them.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
We're running out of time for this evening. I need to tell you this. You need to go talk to an attorney, get a free consultation or a low-cost consultation. You need to figure out probably how to get that court.
I got this phone number from you guys, the 888-888-6582.
Hey, Samuel, I'm trying to tell you something. We're running out of time, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want you to try to find a lawyer in your area. I want you to try to get that court-appointed attorney. I know you have your strong opinions about attorneys. Most people do. But in this particular situation, you've gotten the kids back now. You don't want to mess up anything towards the end. So hopefully you can get some information where you can
if I don't sign this piece of paper, they're taking my kids back into foster care system. But if I sign this piece of paper, I'm admitting that I beat on my children, and then I'm going into probation, and then I'm going to prison.
Right. So that's why you need to talk to an attorney, Samuel. And also, from what you're telling me, that doesn't seem right. I would also go to the Department of Health and Human Services in Washington, D.C., and fill out a complaint against that social worker who made that threat to you.
They told me to contact the FBI, and I've already contacted them. And the FBI told me to contact the Attorney General, and then the Attorney General told me to contact the FBI. They both sent me back and forth with each other.
Yeah, I'm telling you to contact the Department of Health and Human Services. Hey, Samuel, I have to go. Thank you for calling. I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you listening, sharing your story. Call us back in 3 or 4 weeks and tell us how things are going. To give us an update. Hey, Aaron, I want to thank you for co-hosting this evening.
Anytime.
All right. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. We'll see everyone next week on the radio.